Hey everybody, what's going on? Frank from AM Ramen here. I'm in Kingston, New York, upstate New York, my dad's hometown, and I never thought I would be making a ramen video in Kingston, New York. But there is an authentic ramen restaurant, and I know this because I've heard stories about this place, Tanma Ramen. From what I hear, it's run by a sweet Japanese lady from Yokohama, I believe, and they're pulling out all the stops in terms of making, well, bowls that are unique to what you have here, even in the state of New York and in the US, but also ones that are very much bringing something from Japan in terms of their authenticity. Fantastic ramen, miso ramen, shio ramen, and a Kuro Ramen, which is with dumplings. All the above we're going to be ordering. I'm very excited to try this place. Let's dive in. So, 3 ramen at Tama Ramen, starting with the miso ramen. There's Signature. And this one, they really pull out all the stops for. They blend several types of miso, 6 I believe, to hold up the soup. And it's again a gentle blend, not salty or, let's say if we talk about the soup, that fatty compared to what you get in certain parts of Japan, like Sapporo. They are blending pork, chicken, as well as even duck feet, other ingredients, vegetables included, to put a soup together. And that's one soup. They've got another soup that is shiitake mushrooms, kombu or kelp, scallions, a few other items that makes up the second soup. So essentially, they've got a primarily meat-based soup and a vegetable soup that they put together at the end. This is called double soup in Japanese, or double soup. That's something you really only see in Japan, that double soup. You know, most places are gonna make one soup, it's about saving space, but that's very impressive that they're doing that. So a complex soup with a relatively mild miso flavor, a gentle miso flavor, and something that's not as heavy as you get, let's say, in other parts of the US or even in Japan. Topping wise, we've got wakame seaweed, there were bean sprouts there for a nice crunch, and I think it's hearty enough where it's a great dish in colder temperatures like right now what I'm experiencing, but not again being overly hearty where you're trying to survive the winters up in Sapporo. It gets cold up here, of course, like Sapporo, but I don't think they're trying to push it in that direction where it's super heavy. Next up is the Shio Ramen, which is vegan. And when I was eating it, I thought that it sort of had a buttery flavor, and that was coming from coconut, actually, coconut cream. And it's 100%, of course, plant-based broth. Coconut cream is there. There's ginger, garlic, sauteed onions, so there's some sweetness, but I felt like the buttery, without actually using butter, that coconut creamy flavor was there. That was first and foremost, at least when I was tasting. Very enjoyable, and I think it's always hard to get vegan ramen right when ramen is a dish that is traditionally made with meat, and they did a great job. I think between the miso and the shio, I'm not vegan, although I do appreciate vegan cuisine, and as such, I leaned a little bit more towards the miso. I love that miso flavor. And last but not least was their Kuro Ramen. So the Kuro Ramen was an interesting one. I believe it's made from a clear broth and also the water that they boil the dumplings in. So very clean in that sense and very clear as a result, even though it gets darker because of their special Kuro sauce, which is ginger, garlic. Grain vinegar is separate, but that is added to the Kuro sauce, and also, of course, soy sauce. So you get this tanginess from the soy sauce, the grain vinegar, acidity, and it was a strong seasoning. The other 2 ramen that I talked about, the shio and the miso, were not that salty, and this is something she talked about when she was serving the ramen. She's like, these are not salty, what you normally get, let's say, in Japan, when they're much more salty. This one was salty, though, and I like that. I prefer my ramen to be sometimes with a punchier seasoning, and that's what I was definitely feeling with the Kuro Ramen, and as such, I enjoyed it very much. The dumplings were fantastic in that too. Ordered gyoza before that, by the way, fried dumplings, and those were really good. Personally, I might have enjoyed the Kuro Ramen, I think, the most. Maybe it's because shoyu is a type of ramen that I often eat, and that spoke to me the loudest. But that said, the miso was also fantastic, as was the shio. So there's basically, with that trifecta there, great options for everyone, including if you're vegan. And in summary, I really appreciate the fact that like they are pulling out all the stops. She, being Japanese, of course, understands what ramen is about. Not that that automatically is the case, but just her saying that, okay, we're not going to do it so simply. Like it took her 8 days to make the chashu, and it normally takes 10 days. She says she cheated by taking 2 days off, and that chashu was fantastic. She's putting in all the time and effort is what I'm saying. And that's something you don't always see outside of Japan, or when any cuisine is taken outside of its country, there are going to be some shortcuts. They're taking no shortcuts here. And this is something I thought I wouldn't see outside of maybe New York City. Very much appreciated. And she's a lot of fun. Went on talking for a long time, not just about the ramen, but yeah, things in Tokyo, things in Japan. It was a great experience. So what you can expect besides delicious ramen is that when you arrive, she's gonna be very friendly. She's gonna be very much engaging with you, talking about the ramen, talking about her story, and it's a lot of fun. So if you have a chance, if you're in upstate New York here in historic Kingston, visit Tanma Ramen for 3 delicious choices of ramen. Thanks so much for joining everyone again. Never thought I'd be making a video from Kingston, New York, but here we are. Appreciate you tuning in, and until next time, Frank from 5 AM Ramen signing out.